Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining us today. I am Julie Massey. I'm the Director of Investor Relations here with the Knoxville Chamber. And I'm excited that you've made the decision to invest with us and our mission of driving regional economic prosperity and taking time to learn more about how we can work together to fulfill this mission and grow our business. I want to make sure that my camera's on. It is. Okay, good. So just so we go over what you can expect today, let me make sure this is working. Perfect. We will start with an overview of our new strategic vision, Path to Prosperity, by our CEO, and then we'll give you an overview of what you need to know to get the most out of your investment with us. A little housekeeping before we get started. A recording of this presentation will be sent to your email along with a toolkit of all the information we have discussed, so you don't have to panic if you missed anything that we said. And we'll answer all the questions at the end. So if you think of anything while we're speaking, just type them in the chat and we'll go over all of them at the end there. So Mike Odom is the president and CEO of the Knoxville Chamber, a position that he's held since 2019. The Chamber is focused on transforming itself into an economic prosperity organization in support of its mission of driving regional economic prosperity. In order to accomplish this goal, it is committed to developing an economic ecosystem based on 6 work areas: business retention and expansion, business attraction, business climate, entrepreneurship and small business, infrastructure, and talent. In 2020, this year, the Chamber will be introducing its new strategic vision that will drive its work for the next 5 years. Please welcome our President and CEO, Mike Odom.
Good morning to all of you, and to echo what Julie said, thank you for your willingness to invest in the future of our region and its economic prosperity. So, and that word invest is very important to us. It takes on a new meaning with our new strategic vision. To begin with, you are no longer considered chamber members. You are now chamber investors. And for us, that is truly meaningful, because when you invest in something, when you have a sense of ownership, you have a piece of equity in it. And that's how we want you to feel about what we do, our mission, our vision, and our plan. And so we're going to go over that, and Julie kind of talked a little bit about it in the introduction. But at the end of the day, this is what your investment is doing. This is why you have given your dollars to us to be able to accomplish. So let's go ahead and start here. I'm going to assume I can drive. There we go. Okay. So first up is our mission, and Julie mentioned a second ago, but our mission is to drive regional economic prosperity. That is the reason we exist. It is what our team, when they come to work every day, is focused on. And we're going to get to a point. Someone sent me a quote or an adage from when LBJ went to the lab for the first time, and he asked, "What do you do here?" And he said, "Well, I make nuclear weapons," and he was the janitor. So when you go ask one of our team, "What do you do for a living?" they say, "I drive regional economic prosperity." And we as an organization had lost that a little bit. We had gotten away from that. And so now we are 100% focused on that going forward. Can you go 2 slides for me, Julie? So back in December, we proposed a new vision to our board of directors. And vision was derived from hundreds of conversations we had with business leaders across the region to understand what is it that they want us to do. So if you think about the mission is the ultimate destination. Where do we want to be? The vision is the roadmap to get there. And so we call our new vision Path to Prosperity. And Path to Prosperity is designed to develop this rich, innovative, dynamic economic ecosystem that focuses on dealing with the issues of today, but start to think about the realities or the aspirations of tomorrow. So what are we dealing with today that we need to focus on? And then where do we want to go economically into the future. And so you can see this image now. This is, again, what we call it economic ecosystem. And we're going to go through each of these really quickly in a second. But you can see it's all interdependent on one another. Someone deemed it a perpetual flywheel, and that if we can get that flywheel going, then it starts to take care of itself, and then really the sky is the limit for us. So next slide. At the beginning of that is what we call business retention expansion, and we, like a lot of other communities across the country, have been almost exclusively, I think is probably a good word to use, on business attraction, where we go out and say, hey, let's go to someone's community and try to relocate their business here. And that's great, but then we've forgotten about the businesses that are already here. So where we're really spending the vast majority of our resource, whether it be our time, effort, money, is on helping businesses here be able to grow, be able to meet their economic and financial dreams so that they're successful. And people have said to me a lot in the year that I've been here, well, we don't have enough corporate headquarters. We need more corporate headquarters. We have thousands of corporate headquarters. They just happen to have 5, 10, and 50 employees. So our job at the Chamber now is to get them to 500, 1,000, 5,000 employees like your companies, so that we can bear the fruits of that. If you think about the iconic brands of Knoxville, Pilot, Team House, Clayton, all of those companies started here. We embraced them, we supported them, and they became what they are today. And so that's what we're getting back to. And so since that December timeframe, we've started to do that. But we don't want to forget about the business attraction side. There are companies that want to expand here, relocate here. And so we are still going to be even more aggressive and strategic than we've been in the past. The difference now is we're going to start with the businesses that are already here, go to them and say, hey, is there a partner, a customer, a supplier that's somewhere in the world that would really make sense to bring here, and then go get those folks. We're going to go to those businesses that have operations here that are not based here and say, hey, how do we get more of your capital investment? And so you're going to see us be much more dynamic and strategic in how we do that. But you can't attract those businesses, you can't help those businesses grow if you don't have the rest of the economic ecosystem. So for instance, excuse me, you need to have, next slide please, the right business climate. You need to have the right regulatory environment, the right tax environment. You need to have a healthy workforce. And all those are areas you're going to see us become much more active in. If we've seen through time, there's nothing that's worse than a bad business environment. And so we really want to focus and really help that improve. We also have to have the right infrastructure. And that's just roads and bridges. It's buildings, it's land use, it's broadband access. All of that is important to have the right infrastructure to support those businesses. Next slide, please. Talent. And I can tell you here today, this is probably where we're going to spend the vast majority of our time over the next 15 years. This is workforce development, this is public education, this is post-secondary education, this is talent, retention, attraction, this is inclusion. All of that fits within this talent umbrella. And so this is just so much a big part of what we need to do to really grow our region economically, that we're going to spend a significant amount of resources here. And the last one in this space is what we call entrepreneurship small business. And this is really to get more businesses started. And once they get started, to support them so that they become those growth opportunities for us as a region. Entrepreneurship at the end of the day is a numbers game. The more businesses that get started, the more businesses succeed. Our goal needs to be to get more businesses started. And so we're going to start to play a more active role in space, which then leads back to the business retention and expansion that starts that flywheel all over again. So that's the mission, the vision, and now we need the plan. So we've got the destination where we want to go to. We have the roadmap to get there. But then you have we're going to stop at this hotel and spend the night here. We're going to drive down this road to do there. And so that's where the priorities come in. So there are 6 things that we're committed to doing over the next 5 years. That doesn't mean they'll be completely finished in 5 years, but we're committed to at least getting them started. The first is a regional workforce development strategy. This has been, as I mentioned, related to talent. This is the number one issue for business leaders right now, is how do I ensure that I have the right talent with the right skills to make sure that I'm successful? And so this will be a multi-pronged, multi-year approach, very collaborative, to try to really address this need in a meaningful way. Then it's going to be, along with that, is a talent retention and attraction strategy. We need to keep our best and brightest here. We need to bring not only people who have left, but others here. We need to be a much more inclusive community. We need to build a wall around our region so that when we have that talent, it cannot leave us. And so you're going to see us do that a lot, very actively here in the next 5 years. Then is an infrastructure strategy. We have to think about what land do we have available for land use? How are we using buildings? One of the things that we're committed to right now is a 100% regional broadband accessibility. So whether you're in urban Knoxville or you're in Granger County, you can have broadband access whenever you need it to be able to do your school, your work, whatever the case may be. Then we're going to also look at access to capital. This is a number one hurdle for new businesses and startups, is the ability to have a very broad access to capital avenues. So whether you're a hairdresser that needs a micro loan, all the way up to a startup that needs a Series B $20 million round of funding. And they're all through that spectrum. We want to start making sure that we have a way to really go after that. And then finally, I'm sorry, I missed one. So we talked a little bit about the business. No, you're fine, Julie. We talked about the business-focused economic development strategy. Really focus more on the businesses that are here. And essentially, it's the old adage: it's easier to keep a company than it is, or keep a customer than it is to get a new one. The same applies here. And then the last of the priorities is a marketing campaign, a brand for Knox County and the city of Knoxville. Next slide for me, Julie. Thanks. So when we go out and we are doing our business attraction, when we're trying to get business to relocate, when we're trying to get attracted here, we've got to have something that lets us bottle the essence of who we are to be able to communicate that. People tell me all the time, if you just get people to come here, they'll fall in love and want to stay. Well, I can't bring everybody here. We've got to be able to put that in a way that we can take it to them and let them come and try it. And so that's one of the things we're working on as we speak.
Wonderful. Thank you. We're very excited about this new strategic vision and the path that we're going on. So thank you, Mike, for sharing that with us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So in the toolkit email that I mentioned earlier, you'll receive, after this recording is done being set up by our marketing team, you'll see a Now What document. You can find this document attached to your welcome email as well that you received from Sam after you invested. This document will outline a few of the ways for you to maximize your investment with the Knoxville Chamber. As I go through the presentation today, a lot of what we'll be talking about is also mentioned on this document for your reference. As an investor with the Knoxville Chamber, you'll receive a promo page on our online investor directory. The site averages over 50,000 promo page views per month. Investors have the ability to post events to the community calendar, jobs to the job board, and coupons to the promotions page if that's something that you're interested in. In your welcome email and on the Now What document, you'll find directions on setting up your promo page. You'll email your logo and your descriptions to investorrelations@knoxvillechamber.com and we'll get it set up for you. The Knoxville Chamber produces a variety of events every year that offer insight into business trends, strategic community development, and economic growth. These programs are aimed at connecting professionals and community leaders with the information, resources, or representative that they need to successfully operate and scale their organization in our region. In accordance with Knox County Health Department guidelines, all chamber events are currently postponed. For information on rescheduled dates or virtual events like this one, visit the Knoxville Chamber events page. There are several ways for the chamber. The chamber communicates with its investors to keep them up to date on news, events, advocacy, related information, and whatnot. The chamber is engaged with several social media channels that you can see here. Make sure you follow us on social media to see what we're up to. The Loop is our weekly email newsletter that goes out every Tuesday to all representatives of investor businesses who request it. If you aren't receiving our emails and you've been an investor for more than a week, please email investorrelations@knoxvillechamber.com and we'll look into it for you. You should get this email by 5 o'clock today. If you haven't, definitely reach out to us. Myself and Samantha are your investor relations team, and we're always happy to help. The Chamber's monthly newsletter, Commerce, is the last 10 to 12 pages of the Knox.biz business journal. A minimum of one copy of the business journal is sent to every investor business. If you're fairly new, you might not have received this yet, but if you've been an investor for more than a month and you haven't gotten this, just let me know and we can check on it, make sure you're signed up. As a chamber investor, you have the opportunity to send in press releases, which will be shared on the chamber news site as well, knoxcommerce.com. The chamber partners with organizations who are dedicated to helping new and existing businesses thrive in East Tennessee. You can see here just a few of the partner organizations and programs that we are involved with. The Tennessee Small Business Development Center is located within the Knoxville Chamber building. It provides expert support to startups and small businesses looking to grow. Funded in part by the U.S. Small Business Administration and Pellissippi State Community College, Knoxville's TSBDC hosts training events and helps more than 700 clients annually. This is a generally free service for you, and I highly recommend checking it out. If you have any business-related questions, they're really great to work with. Other partner programs located within our building are the Downtown Knoxville Alliance, Leadership Knoxville, the Knoxville Entrepreneur Center, KEC, and the U.S. Department of Commerce Export Assistance Center. Lastly, the Knoxville Chamber utilizes volunteers from other investor businesses for our ambassador program. These kind of business people act as hosts for chamber events and support organizational initiatives, and they're normally the ones at New Investor Orientation that are sharing this information with you. We have numerous investor resources available that I'd like to take a few minutes to highlight before we wrap things up and get to questions. You'll see here we have a couple market research options available to our investors. Joe Riley, our research specialist, can provide businesses with area research and statistics to help determine marketing strategies, expansion, and relocation. He can also provide businesses with targeted consumer data and customer analysis as an affordable means to market your business more effectively to consumers. As a chamber investor, you qualify for our Office Depot Small Business Savings Program. You can save up to 55% on commonly purchased business supplies with special discounts on ink and toner. Chamber investors also get deep discounts on copy and print services, including 2.5 cent black and white copies, 22-cent color copies, and 40% off finishing services every day. To save in store, just text Knoxville card to 844-446-6358. You see that on your screen there. To download and save a savings card to your phone. You can also register online to shop. You can find that link on our website, or it will also be included in your toolkit email that you get after this presentation. For mid-sized chamber investors who are looking for a one-source vendor providing office, computer, furniture, janitorial, or other related supplies, A&W Supply offers concierge-type services with national contract pricing, local sales and service, and free next-day delivery if you order by 5 o'clock. As a new chamber investor, you're eligible to receive 25% off 3 months of advertising in Knox.biz. Information on how to take advantage of this will be in your toolkit email as well. We also offer exclusive access for our investors to a workers' compensation group program where you could receive dividends based on the success of the group. This spring, we actually distributed over $22,000 in dividend checks, which I think is pretty amazing. And that was spread out over about 50 investors, I think. We recognize the COVID-19 pandemic has been challenging for our regional business community. In an effort to connect you with the resources to help navigate the pandemic's impact, the Chamber has several related pages on their website, including guidance on reopening your organization. You can find that at knoxvillechamber.com/reopen, or the ability to post any open positions you currently need to fill at knoxvillechamber.com/hiring. Should you need information about assistance being offered to businesses impacted by the virus, we have an aggregated list of resources at knoxvillechamber.com/COVID-19. I'm going to open up for questions now. If you have any questions, feel free to jot them down in the chat. I'll pull that up here. I thank you guys for hopping on here. I know that was pretty quick going through all that information, but I just want you to know that Samantha Fox and I are your team here. If you need any help or have any questions about anything regarding your investor benefits or how we, what we do with the Path to Prosperity, we're always happy to chat on the phone, or you can shoot us an email anytime you need anything. So if anyone has any questions, you can type them into the chat now. I'm not seeing any yet. Here we go. Andrew, we're going to have to get back to you about that question. You should already, Andrew asked if there was an email sent out about delaying promotion in the loop. We actually just, we didn't send out our normal email a couple weeks ago, and so you should have just gone right into the loop last week, and you'll probably be in there again as well this week if you hadn't been in there at all yet. So you're usually promoted in the loop after you invest with the Chamber for 2 weeks following your investment. Does anybody else have any other questions? If you do have any other questions, like I said, please feel free to reach out to myself or Samantha Fox. I'm going to type our email addresses. Actually, you can just email investorrelations@knoxvillechamber.com. That email address goes to both of us. So we'll be monitoring it. If you need anything at all, just feel free to reach out to us. We're always happy to help any way that we can. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much.